I was really in the mood to make a video today, and I haven't been able to see a whole lot of movies recently out in the theater, but I'm gonna try to come up with some other ideas of ways I could still get on here and make content. I figured today I would talk about my DVD collection, my personal collection. It's not really all that big, but it's really the DVDs I watch all the time, so I just thought it would be fun for me to talk about because there's a lot of movies in there that I really love. So I'll just try to go through my little collection as quickly as possible so I can talk about, I probably won't be able to talk about all of them. Now, this makes me so excited. The fact that I have all of my Harry Potter DVDs. Bam, bam, last two there. Oh my gosh. It just makes me proud. My Back to the Future DVDs. And you know what? I'm going to reveal it right here, right now. Right here today. This is my favorite movie of all time. I know some people make lists of like their top 10 favorite movies. Some people don't like to make lists. But regardless, I could probably make a list of like my top 10 favorite films of all time, but some of those numbers would be pretty easily interchangeable. But there's one movie that hasn't changed for pretty much my entire life as my favorite film, and that's Back to the Future. It's like a huge part of the fabric of my family, especially between me and my mom. Like, we quote that movie all the time and just laugh about it, even when it hasn't been on or anything recently. I'm pretty similar to most people that I've heard of. The first one is my favorite movie. I love it so much. The second one I really enjoy, but it just wasn't quite the same for me as the first one. But I still really enjoy it, and I always enjoyed it. The third one I like. I think it's a good movie, but I just think there's some things in it that are just a little wacky for me. I'll say the one thing off the top of my head, the reason that I love that movie so much is because of Michael J. Fox and the character of Marty McFly, which is one of the coolest characters ever to be in a movie. So I have a Martin Scorsese movie called Age of Innocence. I don't know why I have this DVD. I don't really like this movie. I don't care for it. I was on a Daniel Day-Lewis kick for a while, and I went and bought it spontaneously, and I just really don't like it. I think it's really boring. It's like a straight hardcore period piece, and I'm just not that into it. This is Amelie. I already have a video about Amelie. If you have not watched this movie yet, you're just missing out. I don't even know what to say. You just have to sit and watch the whole thing and read the subtitles, whatever. If you don't like fall in love with this movie by the end of it, and it doesn't put a smile on your face, I just don't know. I just don't know. Okay, this is a treasure. This movie is my little treasure of a movie. Well, not mine, but I have introduced it to at least a few people who have basically called me every day on the phone since I introduced them to it and thanked me, and they send me cards and they send me gifts just thanking me. That's obviously a joke, but in all seriousness, I have introduced a few people to this movie who it became like one of their favorite movies, and they just laughed hysterically. Yes, some of you have definitely heard of this movie, but this is called American Movie. I don't even know where to begin describing it. It's a comedy, but it was not originally intended to be a comedy. It's really a documentary. It's a documentary. I don't know what the story is behind it. All I know is that a crew of documentary filmmakers went out to the Midwest. I think it's like Wisconsin that they're in. And this was in the mid-90s, I believe. And they made this documentary about a guy named Mark who was very passionate about films, particularly horror films, and wanted to be a filmmaker, and shenanigans ensue. Now, I have met at least one person, and this is out in LA that I met this person, who doesn't like this movie because it like hurts their sensibilities or something. Honestly, if you are like an aspiring filmmaker type of person, or you really want to make it in the film industry, and you can't get a laugh out of this because you take yourself that seriously, I don't know what to even say. You just need to calm down if that's your issue. I think you need to enjoy this for what it is, which is hilarious characters that are real people. I would try to get your hands on this. It is amazing. This is Batman Returns. I won't spend too long talking about that. I grew up with Batman Returns. I liked it the best out of all the Batman movies that were made in the late 80s, early 90s. I like it. I see why people wouldn't like it, but I've always liked it. Then I've got Beetlejuice here. I love Beetlejuice. That's another movie that was highly defined my childhood a lot and probably made me so weird, but I love it. It's like a cult classic, just really unique movie and crazy and just totally weird, but I love it. I got another Tim Burton movie here called Big Fish. It makes me cry in the end every single time I watch it without fail. If you just want to get your cry on and you just want to cry your eyes out, then rent Big Fish. This would definitely be in my top 10, somewhere in there. And it's a pretty recent film. This was such a good purchase for me on DVD. It's Bridesmaids. I am obsessed with Bridesmaids. Comedies are usually not like my favorite movies, but this one is, because it never gets old to me. I've seen it already. The character of Megan, you'll know what I'm talking about. She is amazing. She's my favorite like female character in a movie ever. If I could like pull a female character out of a movie, this is just for female characters, because if I had a choice to bring a male character to life and have them like be my best friend or whatever, that would be a really hard decision. But Megan is an easy decision for a girl. I would just choose her as my character to bring to life in my life if I could. And I got Brokeback Mountain here. Directed by Ang Lee. It's a really good love story. It's really sad. Heath Ledger is great in it. He was nominated for an Oscar for it. I got another Heath Ledger film here. Comes right after it. The Brothers Grimm. And this is a pretty wacky movie. Terry Gilliam, I've seen a couple of his movies. That's who did this movie. I saw one called Brazil. I saw one called, I think it's 12 Monkeys. I really like Terry Gilliam. He creates like a visual feast for your eyes kind of thing. So if you're really into that, you like fantasy, fairy tale type stuff, then you'll enjoy this movie. It just has such a weird plot and script that it's like, I can easily see why people don't like this. And a lot of critics I don't think really like this one. But he's great in it. It's a really fun movie in my opinion. Coincidentally, I have another Heath movie right after it, and this I really recommend. I've only seen a couple other like junky movies in my life. I feel it is the best one I've seen. It's more centered around a love story, but the love story is not like sappy or anything at all. I really do strongly recommend this. It's pretty intense emotionally. It's the kind of movie that really sticks with you after you watch it. And that's definitely in large part to Heath Ledger being so great in it. This is a good one. This is my favorite Steven Spielberg movie called Catch Me If You Can. It's with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's just a really, really fun movie. It's based on a true story, and that alone, even just being based on a true story, it's one of those movies that just makes you go, I can't believe this was someone's real life. I can't believe this is based on a true story. It's a lot of fun. So I have here the big kahuna of my DVD collection, The Dark Knight, 2008. I already did a whole video on The Dark Knight. It wasn't the greatest video ever, but this thing is the kind of the boss of my DVD collection because it's in my DVD player a lot. I can't get over this movie still and how much I like it and how much everyone else still seems to like it. How many movies, seriously, how many movies come out, and how long has it been now? 4 years now since this movie came out, and people still talk about it, just like randomly talk about it. How many movies does that happen with? Oh, classic movies. I seriously, I have a problem. Yeah. This thing gets worn out in my DVD player.